After I shared my last video, don't declutter until you watch this if you're in your 40s or over 40s, so many of you reached out with your stories and the comments and shared your memories, the guilt that you're feeling, the overwhelm. Oh my goodness, it's a lot that we're going through. You start wondering, why is this so hard? You've tried maybe more than once, but the clutter keeps popping back and coming back into your house like a boomerang. And it's not just stuff anymore, it's years of your life. So this is the follow-up and the part 2 to this video. So if you're still struggling to declutter and you're over 40, this is for you. Today I'm going to be sharing what I've learned since then, what's helped me make real progress, and why this stage of life brings so many of its own challenges when it comes to letting go. If this sounds like what you're interested in, give this video a big like and a thumbs up, and let's get straight into it. Oh, and you can join me whilst I'm putting on my makeup. Let's go. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is you don't need a whole day to declutter. Please, can we normalize that? You don't need a whole day to declutter, because we don't have a whole day to declutter. Because if you're a mum that's over 40, working a full-time job, got kids, all of that stuff, generally you don't have a whole heap of time spare, like loose change, hanging around for you to be able to declutter your house. Now, I did try and do that. Don't get me wrong, I love a good decluttering video where I can sit there and I can watch them declutter their house, in like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, but it actually took them a whole day because it's obviously lapse time. But I love watching those. That's great. But in reality, it's actually really hard to implement. Like, you can let me know in the comments. Like, I know I'm not wrong, but you can let me know in the comments whether you feel the same way, because I don't think it's not really practical always. Now, my case in point, when I decluttered my laundry room, I thought to myself, oh, I can do this, and I had a whole afternoon free. Everyone was out, various soccer games, party fun. I was like, great, I'll do it in a whole day. And by the end of it, I was so exhausted. I just thought, this is too hard. Loved the results, looked amazing, but it was really, really hard. And I thought, this doesn't work. But what I found is that actually doing my declutters or anything that I'm doing in small bursts, and I know it's hard because it's slower progress, which I'll talk about later on, but it does help. Either if it's one drawer, making a decision like, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to throw it away, things that are inside, or whether you're just going to go through one box, or you're just going to tidy up the drop zone in your house. Like, whatever it is, I found that was the key for me. So we don't need to do it all in a day because we physically can't. So let's just let that go. Let's let that Instagram perfection leave us, and let's go on to the next point. Okay, now, point number 2. You're allowed to break the rules. Yes, I said it. You are allowed to break the rules. You can declutter and do things however you see fit, and what works for you and what just works for your lifestyle and for your family. You don't have to follow anyone's rules. You don't even need to listen to me, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. And I think that sometimes you can think that, well, if I'm following this minimalist rule book, I should only have 5 plates in my house because there's 5 of us in the house. Like, if that doesn't work for you, then don't do it. I watched that and I heard that and read that, and it's like, in theory, that sounds amazing, but that's not going to work for me. Like, that's just not going to happen. So you're allowed to do that. If you want to keep all of your plates and you like having all of your cutlery and you don't actually want to get rid of it, then don't. Like, I feel like we can add this pressure to ourselves, especially as, we're of a certain age, that we think that it's got to be perfect and we've got to live up to this perfect idea in our head, or some Pinterest-worthy, Instagram-worthy, minimalist-worthy version of ourselves. But in reality, that's not how we are. It's not how we are. Like, look at my bathroom looks a little bit messy. Not messy, but it looks a little bit bad. This is just generally how it is. But on the floor, there's a dressing gown on the floor here. And there's a towel there. And there's a stack of toilet roll in that corner over there. Real life. So we don't need to be perfect. We can let that go, let that level of perfection just disappear and head out of the window and leave us be, so we can actually declutter. All right, makeup is about done. Let's go to the living room to do point 3. Oh, and if you're wondering who I am, my name is Jay. Hey, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we focus on all things decluttering, simplifying our lives as full-time working mums, so we can really focus in on the things that matter and making coffee at the same time. If you're at that point and that season of life right now, then go ahead and consider subscribing. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so I'd love to be able to get there with your help. All right, let's get into the next tip. So now that I'm looking presentable, let's get into number 3. Number 3 hit me hard. And it was one of those moments, I think I was driving, and it was a realization that I couldn't make one more decision. It'd already been a long day. I was driving home from work. I was tired. I thought to myself, like, oh, this weekend I've got to go through and clear out a few more things. And I thought to myself, I can't make another decision today. I cannot make another decision. And that's the issue. Number 3, decision fatigue is the real enemy potentially stopping you, especially if you're over 40, trying to begin or continue on with the decluttering process. You hold things in your hand and you think to yourself, should I keep it? Should I not? And then there's a whole backstory that we tell ourselves and we play in our head about that one thing. And then you think, oh, well, I might need it someday. I don't want to get rid of it now. Maybe the kids will need it at some point. Oh, I really should keep that, but then I don't want, and the story continues. I could go on for ages, but you know what I mean. The story continues in your head. You're like, I can't make this decision. This is too hard. And then you put it back and you shut the drawer. And it continues on. It's that whole thing playing in your head. I want you to stop for a second and just think about it. Up until this moment of watching this video, me sitting here in my orange top, how many decisions have you made today? How many decisions have you had to make today? Or even, it's now just after 12 p.m. my time. Between now and getting up, my kids have already asked me 65 things, and I've probably had to make a decision about at least 10 things. So then by the time it actually comes to decluttering or doing whatever it is, you've been making decisions for your family about what they're going to eat, what they're going to have for lunch, all of that stuff, plus work-related decisions as well. So when you come to your what's supposed to be sacred and beautiful home, the thought of making a decision about whether you should keep a DVD player or a DVD that someone gave to you, you're like, not today. Am I the only one? I honestly, that is how I feel. I'm like, push that to the side. I'm not making that decision. I can't. My brain does not have capacity to make that decision, even though it's small. Isn't that crazy? Even though it's small, you're like, next, let's keep it moving. Now, I'm sure you've had this come up for yourself and you've been decluttering and you've been getting rid of things, but your house still feels messy. I've been decluttering, but I can't see any evidence of me actually doing that. No? And I think you've got to reframe it, and I had to reframe it in my mind. It wasn't just about the decluttering itself, yes, and looking for that visual confirmation that, oh look, it's all decluttered and it's cleared away. It was just a reframe that actually the stuff that I've been getting rid of has been helping me to have a smoother and simpler morning to get ready for work. One clear example of that is my makeup bag. And you saw me putting on my makeup today. I only have probably about 9 items of makeup, purely because I didn't need all the rest of it. I just chucked it all out. I was like, I never use it. I actually hate putting on heaps of makeup. So I just keep it really simple. So I think it's those things. Like, you might not see it as like a huge decluttered space, but the things that you are doing should be helping you to have either a simpler life, simpler mornings, simpler dinner routine, simpler time to be able to make dinner because you can actually clearly see what's in your pantry, that the pasta is right there and the sauces are there, and you know that you only have to pick up those 2 without having to rifle through the pantry or whatever it is to get to those items. That's, in my mind, that's what decluttering is. Yes, it is about getting rid of stuff and having a simpler life, but it's a reframe that by doing decluttering, you are simplifying your life and simplifying the way in which you live, right? And just having a completely different outlook on life, and you're turning it around so that you can keep fighting for simplicity, to keep things simple as much as possible, because it's hard out on these over 40 streets. I'm telling you, it's hard. On to the next one. Now, I can almost guarantee that you are tired of decluttering and starting over. Like, how many times have you started to declutter? You've done one small section, done one bit, you feel amazing, like, woo, flexing those decluttering muscles, feeling fantastic. You leave it potentially for about a month, and you're like, I can't go back to this again. It looks like it's exactly the same, like nothing's changed. So this point is where to start when you're tired of starting over, because this is all too familiar for us. So I like to start with things that are small, and I do do that all the time, whether it's a drawer whilst I'm cooking, or I'm tackling a drawer, or like I did in my pantry declutter, I actually doing the rest of the pantry declutter while I was cooking. It's easier for me to do things whilst I'm in that moment, or I'm waiting for a period of time for something to be done. Is it whilst I'm cooking dinner, I'm clearing out the drop zone area, or I'm just taking a drawer or a box and just quickly rifling through it? It doesn't need to be perfect. And I think this idea that you need to have the perfect situation and the whole day or afternoon to declutter, it's a lie, pure lie. Like you don't have that kind of time. So you just got to work with what you currently have. So when you're at that point where you're like, I am tired of starting over, just take out a drawer, take out a box, and just declutter that. And that's okay. As I said before, I'm not an expert at this. I am just someone over 40, a mum with 3 kids, just trying to survive. Just trying to survive and keep my life together and just have a simpler an easier life. So give me a comment below and let me know whether any of these have resonated with you. I can almost guarantee that I am not alone in this, and let's help each other out. And your comments will help me, and they'll likely help someone else out as well. So if you want to go ahead and check out the previous video, the part 1 to this video, definitely go ahead and check it out, in addition to another one that YouTube has also recommended. Keep fighting for simplicity, gorgeous, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.